Okay, let's have a look at this one. So this short video is about how to evaluate and get feedback. But we're going to start with a question. Why do we need to evaluate and get feedback? What do you think is the answer? Okay, so here are some suggestions. Why evaluate and get feedback? Well, what we need to do is improve next time, and we need to know what we need to do to improve. We need to find out if this is what members want. Is this the right sort of publication, event, training, webinar, or do they actually want something different? We need to gauge success so that we know that we're achieving what we want to achieve. Okay, so how to evaluate and get feedback? We can do it informally or formally. Let's have a look at some informal feedback first. So first of all, asking people direct questions. You can chat to people while they're at the event and at the end of the event. You can chat to people on WhatsApp afterwards or face-to-face, and you can say, how's it going? Is it what you expected? How have you benefited? How was it? General informal questions and see what they say. You could, if you're doing a big conference, get attendees to raise their hand for a short series of questions at the end. For example, raise your hand if you loved the event. Raise your hand if you think the event could have been better. Raise your hand if you like webinars better than training events, that sort of thing. So you can gauge what members think from hand raising. If you're doing a webinar, you can ask the people who come to the webinar to add comments about the session in the webinar chat. You could always do a poll in the WhatsApp group. And another idea is, if it's a face-to-face event, you could provide post-it notes, those sticky yellow notes, and a big sheet of paper, or a board and pens or chalk on the way out of the event. And you can ask people, invite people to add comments to this big board, and they can add any comments they like. Then you can take a photo of the board, of the paper, and keep that. Lots of different ways of getting informal feedback. How about more formal feedback? How would you get that? Here. So I think the Google form is the best way of getting feedback and evaluations. You can spend time on deciding on the exact questions you want to ask, the exact feedback you want to get. You can add options to choose from, or selecting a short answer or a long answer. I think it's always a good idea to add a free section at the end. For example, is there anything else you would like to say? And then have an empty space, long answer for anything different that you haven't thought of that people would like to say. With the Google form, you can collate all the responses in a diagram or a spreadsheet or both afterwards. You can keep it as records to refer to in the future. You can, to get people to fill in the Google form, you can post a link in a webinar chat, in a WhatsApp group, on Facebook, or you can send it out to people via emails, or you can display it for people to copy down, or you can display it as a QR code on a screen or a piece of paper for people to access immediately. Here's the link to the QR code monkey that you can generate a QR code for a link for anything. Another way of getting feedback is through a Padlet. This is online. It's a very good way of giving feedback. You just give people the link and they can write what they want, what they think about the event. And you can save all these Padlets for future use as well. Padlet is free for the first several Padlets that you make. Or you could have a traditional paper form, could be Word or PDF, might suit people better if they don't have access to the internet. You need to think carefully about the questions you want to ask beforehand, and it's always a good idea to leave a free section at the end. Is there anything else you'd like to say? So people can say what they want. A few problems with feedback that you need to be ready for. Can you think of any problems? Okay, so possible problems. You need to be prepared to receive criticism. Hopefully people will express it in a nice way. It'll be constructive criticism. We always need to be willing to learn from our mistakes. And it's good if we can try to avoid feeling defensive, because obviously you have put in lots of hard work for this. People don't appreciate it, but we need to extract from these feedback forms the positive points and to be able to learn from the negative points to make the others better in future. Okay, that is